and nice to have you here. My name is Tudor and I'm a data engineer at the BT provider. And in this skill bill I'll show you how I use Talend to connect to a public REST API and process the data efficiently. We'll keep things simple and practical, focusing on how these concepts apply in real projects. First of all, what is a REST API? A REST API is like a doorway to data, a service that responds to specific requests with just structured information. You send a request and the system sends back the data, usually in a format like JSON, which is lightweight, readable, and easy to work with in Talend and many other tools. Each REST API provides access to different pieces of information through what we call endpoints. Think of them as specific sections of the service. One endpoint might return a user profile, another might return a list of products, and so on. The way we interact with an API is through methods, each with a clear purpose. First, we have the get method, which is to retrieve the data. The post method, to create a new data. Put, to replace the data entirely. Patch, to modify only part of the data. And delete, to remove the data. In this skill bill, I use the get method because I only needed to read the user information. The example. To simulate the real world case, I use a public testing API called dummy JSON. It's perfect for practice because it gives back realistic user data. I work with one of their endpoints that returns the user profile with fields like ID, first name, last name, phone, birth date, blood group, hair, color, address, etc. Everything comes back in a JSON structure. Now let's go back to Talend. In Talend, I build a complete small job with all the key components. First, we have the TREST client. This TREST client uses components to send API request. The method will be the get. Here is the endpoint with the user and from dummy JSON. And I also put in advanced settings the content type application JSON to let the API know I expect the response in JSON form. After we do the request, we will do a logging. Here we will log the response, which we will have from dummy JSON. Here we will have this one. This will be the response. And after that, we will do the extract part. This is where I extract the values I care about. I use JSON path expression starting from the root. Which is represented by the $sign. For example, if I want to take the first name position, I will go to root and take the first name, root point first name. Here we will have root and first name, last name, and where we will have the hair color, we must go from root to hair and after that to color to take the value. As you can see, here we have root, hair, point, color. Okay. After we extract these JSON fields, I will show you now. This expression map directly to the columns in my schema, and I assign the correct data types like string or integer. I added also a reject flow to capture any issues like the API response is not valid or JSON service is temporarily unavailable. But in our case, it's not the problem because this is up and running already. So, as you can see, we have the status code, body, and string, which we have mapped here. Okay. Here we'll have the string, which is the export. As you see, Emily Johnson is like the example here, Emily and Johnson, and the extracted hair color is brown, as you can see here. All the colors: Emily Johnson, email, phone, and hair color. The Tilogro toy is this one, and it's null because we don't have any errors. So what did we accomplish here? So we use Talend to connect to a live REST API, fetch a JSON data, extract what I needed using the clear schema, and log everything in a readable way, with error handling included. This is a great way to integrate external APIs in your data workflows, especially when working with live system dashboards or ATL pipelines. Thanks for watching.